Right, hello, good evening all. Hope you're all doing well and welcome up the loft. I will turn the lights on in just a second. I'll just wait for a few more to tune in and then we'll get going with the Q&A. Hope you're all doing well. If you've got any other questions, I have got a list of questions people have done, but if you've not done that and want to ask me one, just drop it in the chat and I can pick it up from there. So what we'll do, got some trains running in the background, as you can see. Got the Bachmann Class 121 and then one of my recent new ones, which is just here. That is a Bachmann Class 25, which is really nice with some Mark 1s behind in blue and grey, which are also new. So, right, we've got enough of us now, and then the rest can still all tune in. Hello all, hope you're all doing well. Tom G, Soft Talk ASMR, hi. Train Spotter Hub Essex, hello. Hope you're all doing well. Right, so what we'll do then, we'll get set up just here. I'll put the lights on so you can all see me. Hello. Right, okay, so I'll check the chat then, see what else we've got. And then obviously we'll go into the Q&A questions and do some of that as well. But I hope you're all doing well and had a good day. It's been quite hot today up here in the loft. I've got the fan going just down there. It still is pretty hot up here, but it's kind of what you get in summer. It's been a nice day, so positives there. Thank you, Train Spotter Hub Essex. Glad you like it. Right, okay, so what we'll do, I'll start doing some of the questions, which I will get up just now. Once I find them. I should have got prepared, but I never am prepared, so what you get in it. To be totally honest, the way I was going to look it up on my iPad just failed, and I realised you can't do it on an iPad, and my phone is currently being used for the live stream, so slight technical hits, but I've got another way. I've got them all now. They're all there, so we'll get on with them in just a second. Let me just check back, see if I've missed any comments from you. Viaduct Central, hello. Hermitage Road, hello. Right, okay, so what we'll do, I'm not sure if the trains are too loud in the background. Let me know if they are and I'll turn them off. If someone can quickly just let me know, as I don't want to start reeling questions and answers and no one can hear me. So can everyone hear me fine? I hope so. Yeah, right, cool. Thank you. Right, we're all good. Right, okay, so now we've established the trains aren't too much of a distraction, which wouldn't be good. Right, I'll get on to the questions. So, the first one comes from Eric French. He asked, have I won the lottery? Unfortunately not. Maybe one day I'd like to, but unfortunately not yet. What others do you have? Sorry, you're going to have to just bear with me looking through them all, because the way I set it out didn't really work. Hello Anfield, hope you're doing alright. Right, Teresa Marsh asked what helped you learn how to do scenery to such a brilliant standard. Right, okay, so with that one, obviously we're up here in the loft. This is actually one of the oldest layouts, and obviously we'll go into the layouts I have a little bit later on. But in terms of what actually taught me, if you follow Great Eastern Models Recommends Facebook group, if you don't, I really recommend it. It's a really good community and group to have a chat with some really cool people. So basically, last night they did a Friday night debate, which basically was on YouTube after I filmed their shop during in the day. So I was kind of the focus of the discussion. But the point of that is going through, obviously, the YouTube point. I taught myself through watching other people's channels, so there's no one else in my family that are interested in railways or trains or railway modelling. It's just me that does it, hence why I took over the whole house, because it was free for the taking. But basically, with that, you've got all different types of modelling that people do. Some people obviously like just running the trains and have it on the carpet, which is fine. People like me like doing the scenery, and personally I get more out of the scenery than running the trains. I'm not really fussed on running trains, which I know is quite crazy considering how many I have and how many layouts I have, but that probably just links to why I have so many layouts, because I enjoy building them. But the point is answering the question. This is a very long answer to the question, so apologies about that. But with that, obviously the best way I found was learning through YouTube and watching others, not to copy them, but I think the best word was to inspire, and be inspired by it and use that as your own take on something. So obviously the key one was Everyard Junction, Dave, Class 47 at Dean Park. There's many others. There was Glebe Road, what others? I forgot the others. There are many others, but they're the three main ones. I literally binge watched them throughout my whole time when I was at school. And basically all I did was look how they did something, not necessarily a how-to video. I'm quite a visual learner, so if I see something, say at Dave's station, or Dave at Dean Park, say landscape, I could look at it, take my own take on it, see kind of the rough basis of what to do, and then bring that to myself. So really that's how I learned. I just taught myself, and over time the more you do something the better you get, and that's definitely true. So if any of you are new and a bit worried about starting out, just go for it. At first you'll think it's really good what you've done, and then over time you'll improve, and with that you'll see your first efforts weren't as great as you would be now. So yeah, it's really nice also to see the progress. It's such a great hobby to be in, and people who are very addicted like myself would probably agree that it just gets very addicted, but thankfully it's not drugs or anything, so it's all legal and above the law, so it's a great thing. Right, so before I go on to the next one, I'll just go in the chat, as I know a few more of you are here. Hello to all the people that's joined, Anfield, Benton Road, Tom G Soft Talk, I think that is Grandad Choo Choo. Got loads of us here, so welcome. Right, so the next question is from Train Spotter UK Hub Essex. He was like, why don't you join a model railway club? And John Duckfields in Chelsea say hello. Right, so hello to you all. And I don't join a model railway club only because I went to one to do a talk about what I do on YouTube, and after I was on the Great Model Railway Challenge, and it was very nice, but it wasn't kind of my thing. I'm not really about having to get permission to do, say, finishing off a bit of ballasting or scenery, and that's very much what I found a lot of clubs are like. You can't just go and finish a bit of scenery. People have to ask, because it's not just your layout, it's everyone's layout. It gets quite complicated, and personally I've kind of got my own club. If you want to look at it that way, I've got 9 layouts now, which is more than the club that I went to, and they're all mine and I can do what I like on. But yeah, maybe I'll start my own club one day, that's the thought. Merdian Parkway, hello. Right, so we'll go on to the next question once I find it again. David Edwards asked, how many layouts do I have? I have 9. So some are exhibition layouts, some obviously like here, and the shed are fixed in the shed. Obviously got a garden railway in O gauge, which is very exciting. O gauge is something really special if you've never got involved with that. It's very addictive, but there's something really nice about a huge, great big train. Whereas obviously in double O, they're still not N gauge, but they're still small. But O gauge is something really special. So yeah, I've got 9, so some are exhibitions, some you might have seen at shows and you might have spoke to me, and then I've got some new exhibition ones which will go a little bit further afield, as the shows I went to were all kind of very local-ish. They're all kind of in the East Anglia region. Now some of them can fit in my car, so I can literally go near enough anywhere. But saying that, I don't really want to go to Scotland or places like that. But I've got some booked in that are a little bit further out. I've got some ones in Norwich, Norfolk. So yeah, hopefully if obviously more of you are spread across the country, then you'll be able to see that. Right, okay, so that's the answer to that question, 9. Jonas Moen asked, for how long have you had a model train as a hobby, and how much space do you have for your layout? Are you considering having some foreign trains / deliveries? Right, okay, so in answer to your 3 questions, I've had model railways as kind of a hobby for quite a while. When I was very younger, I was interested in it. Had obviously wooden trains and did all the stages going up. And then like kind of primary school, it all kind of went, there was nothing really there. When I got to secondary school, I redid it and built a layout again up in the loft, which some of you might remember who've been here a very long time, probably 3 years, 4 years now. No, I think it's even longer. I left school 2 years ago, so it's a lot longer. I had it on the floor. It was literally kind of a track mat style layout. In fact, it first went straight across with all loft junk everywhere. It was quite mad. And then from that, it grew and grew. Then I did all the proper scenery, as I called it, and literally had a layout across this whole loft on the floor. Then basically I was breaking my back, bending down, doing all the work on the floor. So watch the hatch. Never fall down hatches, as I've done. It really hurts, but now I've got a nice safety thing, but I still don't like standing there. As you can see, well-ish, you've got obviously a nice raised up layout up here. So I redid that a few years ago because obviously the layout on the floor wasn't up to the standards. So I redid it, and as I've said, as you redo things, the more experience you get, and but basically you improve. So that's when I rose it all up, and in between that, prior and after, I built more layouts, and I built even more layouts and more layouts and more layouts and more layouts. And it's got very addictive, and obviously now I've got 9 which go to shows. They've been in Railway Modeler, which is really good. So it's been quite a while. I've always liked trains, so it's kind of been a progression, and model railways is definitely a very key part of my life. So another part, how much space do you have for your layout? So I've got my whole loft, I've got a garden building, I've got part of my garden, I've got a garage, another garage, and I've got my own like storage industrial unit space as well, which is kind of a new addition. I only got it like 2-3 months ago, which is stunning. Love it. It's like my favourite place ever. Who would know like a sliding gate to get in would be so fascinating and exciting, but it is. But yeah, I've got quite a lot of space, so I'm quite lucky on that term. Up in the loft, it's not a huge loft, it's kind of just a standard loft. I don't use kind of all the loft, like this is only like a small part of the loft. If I did it again in hindsight, I'd make it bigger, but I'm not sure if I'd be allowed, so I've already took out a lot of space. But yeah, so that's that one. I'll just pop back to the chat, as I've seen some bits pop up on my phone whilst I've been rambling on. Benton Rhodes says hello, and he's got my TMD entered into a future Uckfield Model Railway exhibition if you'd like to come and exhibit. Yeah, send me the details, that sounds cool, thank you mate. Mirth Essential says, is it possible to do a 1 foot wide layout around the loft? It depends on the size of your loft. If you're on about my loft, I'm quite full up, but for your loft, if you've got a 1 foot wide, which someone's going to have to remind me, as 1 foot is not a lot, I believe. I'm a metre person personally, but yeah, you can do micro layouts of any size. You could have a layout that big if you want, a little tiny N-gauge one. I've seen some really small ones, and 30 centimetres, thank you Jack, perfect. So yeah, 30 centimetres, so about that. Probably, I could probably fit it where I'm standing, but you could, but personally I kind of like a bit of a bigger layout, but obviously it's all up to you. Alright, have I missed anything else? And I'll carry on answering the questions. Perfect. Right, cool. I think we're up to date on that term. Right, so the next question was from Viaduct Central Model Railway. He says, how did you get into model railways? So I kind of covered that in the previous one, but basically it's ever since a child, it grew and grew, and I got back to it when I started secondary school, and then it kind of, the addiction very bit hard, and then basically it continued to where we are now. Benson Road said roughly the length of the loco you just held up. Yeah, so 30 centimetres I think is exactly this class 156. So yeah, it'd be a small layout if you did, but anything's possible, so I'm sure you could. Peter Kay says the magnetic style couplings you were talking about, would they work for Canadian HO scale trains? Tongue twister. Right, with them, obviously, I have some here. So they're what they look like. So a pair is that. So with them, if they have that kind of style of kind of push-in that goes into a wagon, if I try and find a wagon to tell you what I mean. Right, so with this, I'm not sure how well you can see that, but if it pushes into there and looks, your normal couplings look something like the end of that, then it can. Or if it's kind of got a screw and just a hole in the middle, GLR Bespoke Services do no-nems, where you literally just drill a hole in the underside of your carriage, so it basically allows you to do it on anything. And it still twists, it won't derail, and you just screw it in. It still moves if you don't do it up too tight, and then you get a magnetic coupling. So mag no-nems may be the best option, but if you've got an NEM socket, which is the bit you push it into, like the little plug, then if you do, then they'll fit. Right, getting back to the chat. Benton Road, what was your question again? I can't remember if I've answered it or not. Merthyr Central said, yeah, it'd be about 16 feet long, approximately 4.8 metres. Yeah. Tom G Soft Talk says, I like your BR lantern. I can't talk. BR lantern behind you. Where can I get one? That one I think was bought online. It was actually a present. But you can get it from Jaff Signs. If you search Jaff Signs, they do lanterns like that, and it lights up and does all cool things. But yeah, Jaff Signs do them online if you want to get one. Right, Benton Road asks, where did you first start the hobby, and what is your most expensive locomotive and piece of rolling stock? Right, okay, so I've kind of covered the starting the hobby bit. So I was around 10, 11, 12. That didn't matter. About 10. When I got back into the hobby, I had a bit like a 40-foot straight long layout with 3 main lines, which I could absolutely thrash, like a Hornby Eurostar and some of the stuff I put in that cabinet, which I no longer use. But I had that, which my granddad built for me, and I've had that from like a very young age. That went, and I spent a little bit of time out the hobby, and then got back in. So it was around when I was 11 when I started secondary school, and then the layouts built up, and I progressed, built more, changed ones, upgraded things, and that's kind of where it all started. But I've always liked trains and railways for literally all my life, so I couldn't tell you what did it, but I've liked it forever. Its most expensive piece of rolling stock and locomotive, that is a very hard one, as I've got a lot. Quickly thinking about it, I don't have it here, it's at my unit. Probably my London Underground S stock, because they're ridiculous amounts of money, and they're about £500 for the unit, and that's ridiculous. I still can't believe I paid that. I think like my internal soul is still probably going to have a go at me over that, but probably that. And but it is a good model, and obviously very, very niche, especially for me who's got a London Underground layout. It's perfect for what I needed. And most expensive piece of rolling stock, it probably is, if I quickly show you, is my DVT car, which is a Bachmann one. That's probably the most expensive piece of rolling stock I own. Right, and yeah, covered that question. Benton Mode also said, I can't post a link to GLR bespoke services, no name, wait for link. Have to be a moderator. I'll make you a moderator. Right, you should be able to now, Benton Road. And that'd be great if you can do that. Perfect. Merthyr Central says, have you got any viaducts on your layout, Nathan? I don't on this one, and I don't on any of the others. All I've possibly got, which ish counts as a viaduct, is these kind of suspension bridges that work quite nicely. The train happened to... Oh, that would really stress me. I need to make sure you're straight, otherwise that would proper stress me out. It's not in the same position. I shouldn't be a cameraman. Right, so yeah, that's kind of the only viaducts I've got, and that's up here on the loft. None of my other layouts really have it. Right, I think I've caught up with the chat, so I'll carry on with the questions people ask. So Kiwi N Scale asked, have you always been into the same scale and why? I've always been into double O, mainly just because it's so readily available here in the UK, and it was kind of the main one. Ever since from a child I had double O train sets, they were all the ones I had, and I've always done it, so that's kind of what I kept. Personally, I find N gauge is too small. I'd probably get stressed out over that and probably end up chucking and crushing and doing whatnot else with little tiny trains like that. But saying that, now I've got O gauge, that's bigger, so nice and easy to plonk on the track. Double O gauge is perfect for me. I think it's the right scale. N gauge I think is too small. O gauge is, you need a lot of space or you need a garden, and double O kind of just fits the bill for everything and is the easiest to buy, so that's kind of what I went for. And I do 009, some of my layouts are 009, which is kind of N scale, but still, it's N scale kind of locomotives and track, but scaled up to 176 scale, if that makes sense. So the people are the same size as up here on the loft. The trains are like a narrow gauge railway, so it's like me, who's obviously 1-1 scale, going on a narrow gauge railway, like the Romney Hive and Dymchurch or Bure Valley, something like that. Right, what else have we got? Thank you, Benton Road, for posting that link. Come and visit one day, maybe. Right, okay, so next question then is... I've done Benton Road, that was my next one. But you beat me to it, you reminded me and I did it before. Right, the next one was from Waldall Road. He was like, least favourite part of your layout. That is a very hard question. Well, I've got a few. Obviously, I don't just have up here. It depends if you want one for each layout, comment it, but that would be taking too long. So I'll just do it up here on the loft, just as we're up here. My least favourite part, it's really hard. Like, well, I don't really have a least favourite part because I go around upgrading things that I don't like, which I've currently done a lot up the loft recently, but I'm not going to totally ignore that question, so I'm going to answer it in a slightly swayed way. The loft layout, the thing I don't like about it is I'd prefer if the track work was more long, so if I used the whole space from that wall to the wall behind, whereas I kind of cut off halfway. There's like a water tank over there, but I could go over it and near it, whatever. But I haven't used the max amount of room, and if I did it again, I would focus more on the track. I've recently had to redo a lot of it up here, and if I did it properly to start off with and didn't rush it, then I wouldn't have to. I'd like to make the track really, really good. So London New Street, for example, the track work on that, if I say so myself, is like spot on. But it literally never derails. Up here it always used to derail, but as you can see I've got 4 trains running, and thankfully the curse of the live stream's not come in and they all still work and they haven't derailed as of yet, but now I've said that, they probably will. So yeah, I probably would, for the loft, just do things slightly differently. before building it. But there's nothing that much now, as I'm kind of pretty happy with the loft, if I say so myself, at the moment, because I've literally only just went round through lockdown upgrading all the bits I didn't like. But that may change. In fact, the station, I'm going to change that. That's going to have some upgrade work, so you could say the station. But anyway, great question. Right, next question. Someone else says, have you seriously won the lottery? Unfortunately not. Not yet. Right, if anyone does have any questions who's watching live now, just comment them down below and we can answer them straight away. Lee Clark says, am I on Twitter? Yeah, I am. There's an Amy Junction Facebook page on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, the lot. All the socials, so you can go and follow me on all them and see the behind the scenes access. Right, I think that's all the ones I got from there. I think I probably missed some, knowing me. So I'll go back in the chat and see what's all going on. Right, Mirth Essential says, have you scratch built any buildings on your layout? Not necessarily so much up here. On some of my newer layouts I have. I don't even have one of the best things that I scratch built up here, the over like escalator canopies. They're currently downstairs, so I can't use that. I don't have anything up here at the moment. Mainly I buy ready to run things because the patience of myself isn't really optimum for scratch building, but a few of the new layouts I have, but unfortunately they're not here, they're at my unit, so I can't show what I've done, but I have done some bits. Saying that, Benton Road just reminded me, seeing his comment about 3D printing. I have a 3D printer, so you could kind of say if that's scratch building. I do loads of stuff on there. Now I'm going to have to try and hunt something down that I 3D printed. Which relatively was quite easy, which I'm quite surprised. I 3D printed this, that's really not a great angle, I know, but a little speedboat. This is just a red one. I've got some better painted ones on different layouts. That was the first one I did, so it's not as great. But yeah, 3D printing kind of is scratch building, so yeah, I do that. Tom G Soft Talk ASMR, that is a very huge tongue twister. I'm having a trouble with old glue residue after ballasting. It's causing my train to stop. What is the safest way of cleaning it off to get the glue off the track? Right, so if it depends what glue it is. If it's kind of like PVA that you do to kind of secure all the ballast down, what I use is just a Pico track rubber. Many people say they like it and they don't. I personally find that's the best way. It gets it off. They do kind of shave off a bit and make a mess, but you can just hoover it up after. It's no biggie. If your ballast obviously is all glued down properly and isn't going to go anywhere if you tip it upside down, hoover it, the residue of kind of the rubber, that will get it off. If that still won't do it, you can kind of get Track Magic from Deluxe Materials, even though, to be totally honest, I'm not a fan of Deluxe Materials. Their products aren't what I kind of like. Especially their realistic water, the Aqua Magic, which if you watch the Great Model Railway Challenge that I was on Channel 5, mass destruction with that stuff. It's lethal, and I'm never ever using it again. And I swear I got set up. I like Woodland Scenics realistic water. But saying that, Deluxe Materials do make that really good UV curing glue, which is pretty good. Anyway, getting back to Tom's question, basically, if that still don't get it off, you can get a liquid, which I have some. Right, you can get. I'm back. You can get this cleaning liquid. It's American, called Goo Gone. It basically gets up anything. So what it's designed for is like chewing gum on shoes, clothing. It's like glue, crayons, it breaks all of that up. That's what it's designed for, glue. and adhesive stickers, no like the ones that you get and they just will never ever come off in your life and you spend like hours rubbing them off. So Glue Gun might be a good option for you. You can get it from Amazon, and you just buy it from America. Nice and easy. Right, okay, so hope that's alright and that does the trick. If it doesn't, I can give you some other ways, let me know. Anfield Road, layout in the loft says, how big is your layout in the loft? So from this wall to the wall behind you, it's probably, I haven't actually measured it. Let me quickly measure it. 1, 2, 3, about 5-6 meters in length, about 5.5 meters in length by 3.5 wide, I'm going to say, from what it looks like. I'm quite a good visual measurer, as some of you know. Got a layout online, a Tim Horn baseboard for my bedroom, and it didn't fit through the door because I really badly messed up the measuring, but that's another story for another day. So yeah, that is, I think, better than the measuring I did for that. So it's about 5.5 meters in length by 3.5 wide. Benton Road says, nail polish remover for acetone glue. You could, the only thing is if you have like certain row, it kind of makes it go green and chemical reactions, so just be slightly careful with that, but that could also work. But I tried one of the specifically designed products, either Pico track rubber's the cheapest, you can get one for like £2, £3, or Glue Gun's a good option, or maybe try that. I've never used that myself, so I'm not too sure. Timber Surf says, how many of my videos have you watched? I have watched some of them. I couldn't tell you an exact number, but I have watched some of them. They're very good. Right, so, oh my god, H7G5 F3S5 F5D412. Wow, what a name. What height off the floor do you recommend for a layout? Right, so obviously certain people, Richard at Every Yard Junction has a layout which is, I think, around the height of your knee. I do all my layouts waist height, so about there. That's what the loft is if I go across. It literally is there. I do that just so I can stand up a model, and you can also sit down on my chair, even though I'd look really small if I sit down. It's like a little dance routine. I'll be doing weekly workouts soon, doing squats in the loft. Anyway, so yeah, I always do mine waist height, because all the ones I take at shows you want to see waist height or slightly higher. Some I have on tables, so they're at like table height. But a lot of my layouts I like doing waist height, so it's nice and easy to model on it. I wouldn't say an exact height, it depends how tall you are. I'm about 5'10", 5'11", so I kind of do it like belly button height, but it depends how high you are. For an exact measurement, you could do 1.3 meters, probably wouldn't be badly to go wrong doing it that, but I'd say do it the height of kind of your waist, belly button, and then you can't really go wrong, but obviously it depends how tall you are. What else have we got? Benton Road says he's going live at 5 on Wednesday for a Q&A session too. Perfect, I'll make sure I tune in. You're very welcome, Tom, hope that helps. Anfield says his layout is 26 feet by 4 foot wide in my loft. Take a look at my channel. Yeah, I have watched your channel. I'm not sure, again, I mainly do meters, but from what I've seen on the video, it's around the same size mark. So yeah, I prefer meters personally. Like feet just get very, very confusing. But who knows? I should make more effort to learn probably. But I'm sure someone will convert it for me, so I understand. Or I hope they probably will now. Timber Surf, you're very welcome. Yeah, Benton Road, I agree. I'd say minimum's 1 meter as that's beyond that. Obviously, I used to have a layout on the floor, which I kind of call a track mat layout. it murdered my back, and I'm very young, as you can see. I'm not old. And it murdered my back, and I literally was crippled every time I walked down from the loft. Like, sometimes I did actually fall over through, like, bending down for so long. It was quite awful. And yeah, and then when you get into that, it just doesn't go very well. Even once I built the layout up, as some of you know, I did fall out of my loft, straight down the hatch, which, let me tell you, it's the quickest way to get out of your loft. So if you ever have a fire or anything in your loft, straight, quickest way down. Nothing else beats that. Trust me, I've been there and done it. But I don't recommend it. Don't willingly go and fall out the loft, because it really, really, really hurts. David Train Time, hello. H7G 5F. I'm not going to say it all again. You're very welcome. Thank you, Benton Road. Yeah, so it's around the same size, 7 meters. So yeah, thank you for your conversion, much appreciated. Yeah, and he also said it's killing his back, so they're building a shed for that. Very nice. Yeah, I do like having a shed. My mate, who I built a layout, if you've not seen that, is Guernsey Beach Model Railway. He's not on YouTube, but I've done some videos on it, so if you search Guernsey Beach Model Railway on YouTube, it will come up through my channel, and you can take a look. His is in his shed, and he's done his whole shed up like a signal box, painted, signs, everything. Really cool, and it may give you some inspiration looking how they did their shed and kitted it out. But yeah, he did a nice job. The only thing I find sometimes, he's had some issues with his track buckling in the heat. When we had about a month ago, that really hot weather. I've never ever had that, touch wood, thankfully. But we did leave expansion gaps, but it still did it, so I was a bit baffled by that, but we'll have to go and fix that for him. So just be careful of that. If it gets really hot, then just keep an eye on your track. Benton Road, you fall out of too. Yeah, it's not fun, as I'm sure you know, hurting yourself whilst doing modelling. Oh my god. Don't want to hear myself, that really wasn't nice. Who wants to hear my voice? No one. So if anyone's got any more questions, drop them down below, and whilst you're doing that, I've got some more on Facebook that I'll go and hunt down. So bear with me. I just go to my Facebook page. So if anyone's got any more questions, leave them down below. I'll give you a quick tour of the loft whilst we're up here, to show you the trains you're running, because you can't actually see them. We can sort that out. Also, I've just came back from Norfolk. If you haven't seen my video on the channel, it's the newest one out at the moment from the time of filming this video. Great Eastern Models did a nice video of their shop, and if you've never ever been there, I thoroughly recommend you go there. It's like a once in a lifetime opportunity if you don't live close, or if you do live close, it'll be a weekly opportunity, as I'm sure all the guys at Great Eastern Models would like people to go there weekly. Yeah, so I've just came back from there. Absolutely stunning shop, and you can take a look on the video. It's phenomenal. They do mail order as well, so if you like anything from the video, just phone up their shop and then they'll send it to you. But yeah, that's a really good shop, so recommend go and check that video out, and you can see what it's like. Good evening, New Junction. Hope you're alright. Welcome. Timber Surf said seen it, huge, very impressive. Yeah, Great Eastern, stunning shop. If any of you haven't watched that video after the stream, go and watch it. It's only 4 minutes long, but it's, I was really pleased with my editing, if I say so myself. It was good, and it really shows off the shop nicely. Benton Road says we're all hearing your voice. I know, you're probably getting bored of it now. As I don't know how long we've been going on for, but you're probably all fed up with me. So if anyone's got any questions, do leave them down below. Thank you, New Junction, glad you liked it. Right, now I'm going to go over to Facebook and get the questions I posted on there. Once I find them. If you don't follow me on Facebook, just search Amory Junction for the Facebook page. And I put all like the behind the scenes stuff I'm doing, so if you're on there, feel free, go and follow me, and you can kind of get some other stuff, including some miniature railway action that happens. There's all loads of other stuff. That's a railway involved in is the North Wealdon District Miniature Railway. They're on YouTube. I do their YouTube channel, so I do their editing for all of that. Oh my god, have we been going for 40 minutes? Gee. So yeah, I do all their editing, which is that railway, and that actually is my train, that one. So I own the 7¼ gauge train as well, which is better than O gauge, and O gauge is still like high up on my list of greatness. But yeah, if you haven't seen that, go and check them out on YouTube, North Wealdon District Miniature Railway. Go and subscribe. I've only just started their channel up, and I've got a few people helping me do it that I'm teaching to YouTube. So go and show them some support, and if you live close, maybe one day go and visit them, and you may be lucky enough to see me there as well. And they've got some cool videos on their channel of the miniature railway. So yeah, that's North Wealdon District Miniature Railway. Right, so also this month I was in Railway Modeler, as you can see. It's the August issue, which is currently out this month in July, which showed London New Street, which is one of my exhibition layouts, and Riverside TMD, one of my other exhibition layouts. So if you're interested, we're in like middle pages. Go and get that from any local store or Sainsbury's, Tesco's, Asda, all the big supermarkets, WH Smith, they all do it, and you can go and check it out. So yeah, we're in that month, and that was a real honour. This is the second time now, so I've had the loft layout in, garden gateway down in the shed, I've had garden railway put in Railway Modeler, and now Riverside TMD and London New Street, and more are to follow next year. So look out for that. I'm still trying to find this post I did ages ago for Q&A questions, which I can't find, which is really annoying, but that's just because I'm probably live. It always works out like that. You just can't find anything when you're live. Just talk amongst yourself whilst we're trying to hunt this post down. Right, got it, found it. Right, so Nathan Bentley asks, what is your favourite steam and diesel locomotive currently produced in double O? Wow. If it was double O gauge, the question would be answered straight there, a class 08. They're stunning. For double O, that is a hard one. At the time of filming, there could be others changing, but at the time of filming, which is very, very hard to choose, and I'm trying to scan what I have here at the moment to give inspiration on, I would probably say, that's a very hard question, I'm probably going to say, I'm going to go for the easiest option, a Bachmann Class 37, as I've got many of them, and they're great models, but places like Acura Scale, Railtrack don't count because I've got a broken Class 156, which is their fault and they haven't replied, so they're not in it, unfortunately, only because of that, but otherwise they may have contended, but they don't answer my text messages, so they're not anywhere near it. So I'd say probably a Bachmann Class 37, or probably saying that my Bachmann Class 121, which is running round, which I'll show you in a bit. So they're probably my favourite double O, and O gauge, as I've said, 08 all the way. Or the 14XXs are quite nice. Mine's just gone off to GLR Bespoke Services to get smoke put in it, which should look pretty good as well. Julia Cannon says, does your final layout always end up the way you envisage? Everyone just wants to catch him out with all posh words. Envisage, or does it evolve once you start building? Right, that's a very good question. So does a layout that I plan in my head turn out like it was in my head but in real life? That's a really great question. I think that's one of my favourites we've had. So I don't use track planning software. I feel it's just time wasted, that you could be doing something else. You could be planning, buying, doing something else. I can understand why people do it, because they want to take their time. I'm quite fortunate that this loft and my other layouts aren't my only layout. So I can build this, and then if I change my mind or want a different track plan or want a different layout for a different purpose, say recently I wanted a heritage railway because I wanted to run some steam trains, and I can't run them up here in the loft, but it wouldn't really look right because it's 1980s, 90s. So I built a new layout, which is a heritage railway. But I can understand the people that do it, that want to do that one lifetime layout perfectly. But in terms of me, I just kind of plan the scenery in my head. I look at other people's channels, New Junction, Dave at Dean Park, Every Yard Junction, Luke Towan's another good one, but he don't have a layout, he's just scenery. But I just like search YouTube, have a little look what's about, and kind of see what I would want on the layout, and then just kind of do my own take. And a lot of this layout was, I'm going to have to say, was inspired by the king of modelling, Every Yard Junction, who I literally binge watched like throughout my teenage years. But that was kind of the first part of this layout. But now I watch Dave Class 47 a lot, and he's very much in there as well. He's literally superb, stunning at modelling, and another god of modelling. So I look at him. There's many others as well, but I always have a rough plan, like kind of picture in my head how I want to visualise a layout, and I'd say normally they turn out how I want. Some layouts in particular turn out exactly how I want. Riverside TMD, one of my exhibition layouts, that was the exact picture I had in my head, which was quite scary, but it's not, because I was the same person that had it in their head. But that one, London New Street, was exactly how I planned. It's kind of cool. A lot of the layouts I've built, I have an exact picture in my head, and then when I've managed to recreate exactly what I dreamt and planned, it's really, really good. So yeah, that's a good question. So yeah, right, I'm going to pop back in the chat, and then I'll give you a quick look around the layout, and then we'll pack up, as 46 minutes of me is probably too much. Some of you may disagree, but I'm going to say it is too much. What else have we got? Thank you, Benton Road. So if you do want to check out North Weald's channel, so it's North Weald District Miniature Railway. He's put a link, so go and check him out. It's a really good miniature railway I'm involved in, and what I spoke about earlier. So go and check him out and show him some support. Grandad Choo Choo says, can I see some of your layouts and trains running? Yes, we'll do that in just a second. Benton Road, so who's in the loft? Just me at the moment. No one else is here. If anyone else is here, they're a ghost, because there should be no one else up here. J94, hello, good evening. Tom G Soft Talk ASMR, yeah, Jaff Signs is the one, and they are a really, really good company, so go and check them out. Right, so I think I've covered anyone's questions. If you do have any, just pop them down below, and I'll quickly pick them up before we finish. So I'm going to put my iPad down, and we'll show you some of what's going on. So at the moment then, I'm currently running my new Batman Class 25, which is weathered. That's just literally fresh out of my weathering paint shop today, which looks very, very nice. I think I'm quite pleased with that weathering. And the station, I've been working on the lighting for the second platform, which is the one furthest away. So the same as this, I don't have it on, as I never ever have it on, because I'm lazy to go and turn it on, but it's there forever if I want it. And station lights do make a difference, but I always forget to turn them on and end up cannot be bothered to turn them on. But I've just done the other platform, so it probably will end up like the other one. I never ever turn them on, but it's there for if I ever do for magazines or special videos. So currently over here, if I turn my lights out, we've got a mass disaster happening. One of the railway arches is on fire. That effect was bought from GLR Bespoke Services, and yeah, really is good and pretty cool. And also somewhere on the layout, if I find it, I've done a lot of weathering recently. I've still got loads of stuff downstairs that I've took off the layout that's currently been weathered. Also, if you haven't seen my latest layout update, feel free to go and check that out, and you can see in more detail the stuff I've been doing. There's loads of videos of different updates, so you can kind of track my progress through the years I've done it. And yeah, that's the other one. It's my brand new Batman Class 121, which if we follow it over here, that's just recently been weathered and looks way better from how it looked when I did my review. And I've done roof streaking and all the underframe detail, and I love weathering. It's like my second favourite thing to model railways. One, because this sounds weird, but the smell of the paint is really nice. Like, rail match paint smells lovely, and for all the people worrying that I'm someone who sniffs paint, I'm not. It's just, it does smell really nice, rail match paint, especially the spray cans. If you've had one of them, a bit like petrol, it's kind of the same thing. I promise I don't willingly go sniffing rail match paint, do not worry. So yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at the moment. And also I've installed this dot matrix indicator. Currently I've got it displaying that, but I will put welcome to Amy Junction and then this train terminates here. So I've fitted that up there and made it all look nice with some very plush cable tidies, which my granddad would be very proud of, considering I normally have cables hanging out. But I've even done these from the electrics he did, so he'd be very proud, I'm sure. And when he can finally come over again, he could admire my workmanship on finishing his work. Right, okay, so if anyone's got any final questions or anything they want to ask or anything they want to see, let me know, and then we'll start to finish up, as we're nearing an hour now. So let me know. Wait. I nearly just fell over. Right, so any final questions, anything you want to ask me, start putting it in now, as we're going to start finishing up. And I'll just leave you there to watch some trains go through. Remember to leave a like down below if you've enjoyed this very long chat up here in the loft. And if you want me to do another one in a few weeks or months time, let me know and I can sort that out. Common Road Junction, hello. J94, thank you for watching, see you later. Grandad Choo Choo, oh my god, that's cool. Thank you, glad you like it. Anfield Road, looking good, thank you. Maximum 2, hello, is that real? It's real in terms of it's here, it's not a picture, but it's not real life, unfortunately. My modelling's nowhere near as good to look real. It's a model. Yeah, the 25 does look really good. That's one of my recent purchases. I bought someone's whole model railway setup recently. They got in touch with me on Facebook. Really great experience that, and I got some wonderful things that basically were sitting in boxes, so I rescued them, and that was one of them. And it looks even better weathered now, as I've been doing loads of weathering lately. Love it. And yeah, the 25 I'm really pleased with, considering it hadn't run for 10 years and it run perfectly out the box. It's pretty impressive. It's like one of the Bachmann Blue Ribbon range ones from around 2010. But yeah, it's still a great model, and the details on it is still something that'd be feasible for today. So yeah, it's a really nice model. Bachmann did a nice job. Tom G Soft Talk ASMR, thanks for a lovely Q&A and have a peaceful and great evening. Goodbye. Thank you for watching, really appreciate it and glad you liked it, and hopefully it killed some boredom. And I'm sure my parents are probably watching downstairs saying it probably induced boredom, but at least I know a lot of you all enjoyed it. J924, thank you for watching. Bye guys, thank you. Jonas Mo and Dan just started watching. Yeah, it'll be viewable after, so you'll be able to watch it, and I did answer your question, so you can rewatch it after, and yeah, it'll be uploaded as a normal video. Grandad Choo Choo, enjoyed what you've done, thank you very much, thanks for watching. Right, I think that's where we're going to end it. Thank you all for watching and tuning in. We've had quite a few pop in and pop out, which is always nice on the live stream, and the chat's been nice and busy, which is great. I think I am definitely getting better at my live streams, as they did used to be awful. But maybe next time I'll set up multi-cameras and be really posh, as I do need to learn that. as quickly before we go, the North Wealdon District Miniature Railway are doing a first ever all-night charity run. So they're going to be running miniature railway trains, not public, only for members, all night long from 8 p.m. in the evening to 7 a.m. the following morning. So my train's going to be involved in that. I am going to stream it on my channel as well as their publicity pages, so look out for that. That's in August, and it's all going to be the funds raised is going to go to charity. So if any of you can donate, the money all will go to charity, and it's going to a local hospice near the miniature railway, which is near North Weald's Harlow Way in Essex. So do look out for that, and please, if you can support and give anything to the charity that we're doing it for, it'd be really greatly appreciated. David, Train Time, thank you. Glad you liked it. And if people flood me with questions, I'll certainly do more. That's fine. Right, okay, so thank you for watching. I think that's where we will leave it. As always, I will speak to you in my next video. Thank you, and see you later.